This is the Berman Method podcast featuring Dr. Jake Berman and physician assistant Jenny Berman. We are here to treat problems and not symptoms. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and not to treat anyone or to give medical advice. If you are interested in any information that we are giving and would like to use this for yourself, we recommend that you contact your primary care physician or reach out to us and ask us questions about yourself specifically. Enjoy.
And we're rolling, baby, with the Berman Method podcast. Dr. Jake Berman here with my beautiful co-host,
Jenny Berman, physician assistant.
And we got Walker Ryan, army crawling on the ground, making moves. We're making moves, baby. Look at you looking at me, looking at you. What's happening, man?
He is army crawling all around, getting up on his knees a little bit.
Yeah.
Way earlier than the girls ever did.
Yeah, this is fun. It's interesting how different all three kids are.
It's true.
Like very different.
It's true. Personality-wise also.
Yeah, 6 months old. Definitely different personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like night and day.
Mm-hmm. So, here we are.
Here we are. We're
Happy
back.
Monday morning.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
It has been a couple weeks. We took our trip to Jamaica. We completed the MRF. We talked about that
Oh my gosh.
live last time.
Took me a week to recover from that.
OMG. But it uncovered some difficulties for you.
Did it uncover some difficulties, or did it just reemphasize the difficulties that I already knew I had?
True. Do you think you'll do anything different about these difficulties this time?
Probably not.
I'm trying to talk Jake into coming to Burn Boot Camp on cardio days, not in Naples because Naples is a women's only gym, but when we're out and about trying out the Burn Boot Camp cardio days.
I'm just concerned that if I spend too much time on cardio, what's going to happen to the guns?
It's not, if you're doing strength and cardio together, so HIIT style training with strength and cardio, it's not like it's sustained running a half marathon where your cortisol level is chronically high and you're burning through your muscle mass.
Okay.
Strength is extremely important for the metabolism. Muscle mass is extremely important for the metabolism. And there's no doubt that we should be doing strength 4 and 5 times a week. However, your body still needs cardiovascular exercise to support heart health and to get oxygen to the cells so we can actually utilize some of our glucose as well. So it's really important to do a balance of cardio and strength.
Okay. Anyways, in other news, here we are, David against Goliath. Goliath being the corporate medical system, big pharma, the health insurance companies. They do not have your best interests in mind. They will choose profits over patient outcomes every single time, because think about it. A patient cured is a customer loss. Jenny and I both had to laugh yesterday evening. We're watching TV and back-to-back commercials on moderate to severe plaque psoriasis followed by Crohn's. And one of our friends sent Jenny this meme, I think it was a week ago or so, and said, man, I'm really, really hoping that one day that I'll just be half as happy as somebody in a commercial with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis.
Yeah, because it's true. They're always so happy on the commercials and they're like really suffering from this autoimmune issue, but the medication just makes it all better in 12 to 18 months.
12 to 18 months. Yes. Don't forget, you've got to use it for 12 to 18 months. So that's what we're dealing with. And people are getting smarter. They're getting smarter every single day, every single week. People are starting to do their own research. People are realizing that America is literally the only country in the entire world that does healthcare the way that we do it. I mean, the amount of pharmaceuticals that are FDA approved in America that are banned everywhere else in the country, including Europe and Canada. I mean, we're not talking about third world countries. We're talking about Europe. They're literally banned.
Not just pharmaceuticals, food products. There's so many food products here that are banned in the UK.
There's 2 different versions of Fruit Loops. There's an American version of Fruit Loops, and then there's a Fruit Loops that the rest of the world can eat.
There's 2 different versions of ketchup.
2 different versions?
Something that should just be tomatoes and water and maybe a little salt. But in America, it has 16 ingredients in it.
It's nuts. Yeah. It's absolutely nuts. It's ludicrous. And people are getting smarter. We're starting to figure out that you don't have to just listen to what your doctor's telling you. You need to question it. And again, this has nothing to do with doctors being bad. They're not being maleficent. They're not intentionally being bad. This is just the system that they grew up in. The system that they were educated in is when you're strangleheld by insurance companies, you don't have time to treat the patient. I said that saying last week that one of my buddies sent me, where doctors prescribe a medication that they know nothing about or know very little about a disease that they know even littler about to a patient that they know nothing about.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you should definitely go listen to the Memorial Day episode where we did talk about myself going through a very similar regimen of that. I don't even know what to call it, but a similar story of a doctor prescribing me medicine they knew nothing about. And so go back and listen to that episode most definitely. But here we are.
Here we are. Today, I want to talk a little bit more about this idea of the body's ability to heal itself, specifically when it comes to pain. Because again, I'm hearing more and more stories of people who did not accept the answer that they were given from their orthopedic surgeon, which was you need to have a knee replacement, you need to have a hip replacement, you need to have a shoulder replacement. I'm hearing more and more stories about these people that did not listen to this advice from their specialists, orthopedic surgeon specialists, and said, screw it, I'm going to do something else. And the most fifth grade reading level way I can say it is this last one that I heard just last week. It was a knee issue. And he was told he had to have a knee replacement. I didn't know this guy. I didn't know him before he had the knee pain or I just met him briefly after he went through this experience. But he was told 5 years ago that he had to have a knee replacement, and he said no. And he found some guy on YouTube saying, here's how you avoid a knee replacement, and just start going through these movements. And this guy was telling me that he did them religiously every single day. And here we are 5 years later, he has zero knee pain. Now, granted, this is not everybody, right? Everybody is unique. Everybody has their own stories. My stepdad being one of them. He did everything he could for 10 years to avoid a knee replacement and ultimately had to have one. So it's not everybody, but it is a lot of people. There is a lot of people that are told that they have to have an orthopedic surgery because of the pain that they're experiencing. And it's just not true. It's not true. If you give your body the chance to heal itself, most of the time it will. Now, let me explain what I mean by heal itself. Because the first thing that I get is pushback on, well, you can't regrow cartilage. Okay, that's true.
True.
That is true. I don't know how long it's going to be true with the advancements in stem cells that we're seeing, like at an accelerated pace. But right now it is true. You cannot regrow cartilage in a hip or a knee joint. But what you can do is you can heal everything around it. And let's just use my stepdad for an example again. My stepdad had knee pain for over 10 years. He didn't believe it was 10 years, but since the day that I opened, he was coming in and trying to avoid knee surgery, ultimately. And I opened in 2015.
Right.
So we're in 10 years now, right? We're coming on 10 years. And ultimately, the reason why he had to have a knee replacement was because on X-ray, there was no cartilage left. It is bone on bone. There's nothing that could be done about it. And he was in excruciating pain. The 2 months leading up to the knee replacement, He couldn't even walk.
He wasn't walking. Yeah.
Couldn't even walk. Now, here's a little fun fact for all of you cortisone injection seekers out there. If you're planning on getting a joint replacement, it has to be 90 days after your last cortisone injection.
Any steroid, yeah.
Any steroid, yeah. So, again, my stepdad doing everything he possibly could to avoid a knee replacement, got a cortisone injection to try to dull the pain. It didn't work.
Right.
So a month later, he's in excruciating pain and he literally can't walk anymore.
On crutches, on a walker. Yeah. 67-year-old man, otherwise pretty healthy, on crutches or on a walker, which was just
And he's just
tough.
waiting 90 days for the cortisone to be out of his system so they could chop the knee off, put a new one in there.
Right.
Now, here's the important part. He had the knee replacement because he was in excruciating pain. After the knee replacement, he's still in excruciating pain.
Right. Right. So is it actually the joint causing the pain?
It
Or
can't
not?
be.
No, because now he has a new joint and it's still very painful.
It's plastic and metal don't have pain receptors.
Right.
And he's still in excruciating pain. So the point of this is that most of the time, the pain is not coming from what you see on an x-ray.
Right.
It can correlate with what you're seeing on an x-ray.
Right. And I'm seeing that right now. And one of my young lady pickleball players, she's in her 50s, loves playing pickleball and is having a lot of hip and knee pain, and went to the orthopedic, had MRIs done of both, and they're telling her you have a labral tear in the hip, you have several tears of the meniscus in your knee, but not bad enough that we need to be doing hip or knee replacements yet. You do have arthritis, but we're not looking to replace them yet. And she hears this word yet, and she's like, what does that mean? And I say, well, obviously your pain's not coming from the issues they're seeing on the MRI. Your pain's coming from something else.
You're hitting the nail on the head right there. So 10 years of doing this in my own practice, and I've seen such a similar story from complete opposite ends of the spectrum of x-rays, where I'll have somebody come into the office with an x-ray of a hip or a knee in excruciating pain, and their x-ray says their hip or knee is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have somebody like my stepdad come into the office with knee pain or hip pain, in excruciating pain, and their x-ray says it's horrendous. What we have to understand is that the pain cannot be coming from the x-ray. It can't be.
Right.
Because if it were, after my stepdad was out of surgery, he wouldn't be in pain anymore.
Right, right. And similar to this patient with the labral tears and the meniscus tears, as I said to her, how many 55-year-old pickleball players have the same exact MRIs and don't have pain? So many of them. I mean, how many 55-year-old women, active women who've been in sports their whole life, have tears of their meniscus? 80+%, you think?
At least 60%, because they've done studies on this.
Yeah, and don't have pain.
Exactly.
So, yes.
So the point of this is that the body has an amazing ability to heal itself. And when I say heal itself, my definition of healing is to become more functional. Ideally, that means less pain or no pain. It doesn't mean that heal itself, you regrew cartilage.
Right, right. But you're strengthening the areas around. You're becoming more functional with the areas around the joint. So the glute muscles, the core muscles, the quad muscles, becoming more functional and activating appropriately to take stress out of the joint, which allows the joint to recover and rest.
Exactly. And we're using the knee and the hip in this particular episode, but it's every single joint in the whole entire body. I cannot tell you how many women, mostly, some males, but mostly women, come and say, look at my hands, they're arthritic. There's nothing I can do about it. I've got rheumatoid arthritis, or I've got some type of arthritis in my fingers. Look at my knuckles, they're getting bigger. It's just something I'm going to have to live with. And I'm going, just because it's your finger doesn't mean it's different.
Mm-hmm.
You have Walker's frustrated now. He's agreeing with this statement. That was a lot of work, wasn't it? He's been crawling around since we started this. So 15 minutes he's been army crawling around.
Working.
Good job, Walker. But just because it's your knuckle doesn't mean it's different from your knee or your hip or your shoulder. You still got to strengthen the muscles around your knuckle. And if you don't strengthen the muscles around your knuckles, they're going to keep getting worse and worse and worse.
Most definitely, to where then they're going to tell you need a joint replacement of your knuckles.
Exactly. Now you need a thumb replacement, thumb joint replacement.
Right. And speaking of that, while we're talking on this topic, have you seen an improvement of the arthritic pain with using your stem pod and shockwave?
Oh, it's been a game changer. Absolute game changer in decreasing the pain response so that we can actually get the muscles around it to wake up and do their job. So we haven't talked a whole lot about it, but we've got this fancy new technology that's cutting edge. We're the only place in Southwest Florida that has it at the moment, called stem pod. And it essentially reboots your nerves so that they can fire the way that they should. And then shockwave accelerates the healing process of the soft tissues, the muscles, tendons, and ligaments. So this has been a 1-2 punch with our arthritic joint pain, and my clients are absolutely loving it these past couple of months.
I'm going to try stem pod out today for the first time on a very chronic 5-year hamstring strain that I've had, where we've really tried a lot to improve my hamstring pain.
We have?
I have.
Oh.
You've worked on my hamstring for many years. Several of your therapists have worked on my hamstring, maybe not consistently enough, but they have. So we're going to try out the stem pod.
We've never done a full plan of care.
That's not true. Last summer, I came 3 days a week.
For how many weeks?
6.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back on the schedule and look.
Seriously, I did. 3 days a week for 6 weeks. And it did get better. And then it's when I start running more. And we know we have a week glued. And then I had another baby and a week glued.
Wait a minute. You're saying it gets worse with running?
After a baby. So anyway, we're going to go back to re-strengthening my glutes, and we're going to try stem pod and shockwave, and I'm going to report back.
Yes, this is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to this.
It'll be a case study.
Yeah, a case study. And I'm really looking forward to the consistency of a plan of care with you.
Now the whole world knows, so I'll have to be accountable to it. I work well with accountability.
You do. You work very well with accountability.
But I have to be accountable to someone else, not just myself. So there you go. Find a coach.
Yep. And it's not me. You can't be accountable to a family member. It does not work.
No.
She's looking at me.
No.
As I had 2 cupcakes last night.
One was healthy. I made it. I made a healthy cupcake. Stella told me she wanted to be on the podcast this morning so she could talk about being healthy, because being healthy means that you can have healthy treats sometimes, is what she told me. She goes, because mom makes healthy treats, and so I can have a healthy treat after dinner if I eat all my dinner, and that's still healthy. And it's true. You can make healthy treats and not feel deprived.
Yeah, those cupcakes you made were very, very healthy and very, very delicious.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Good. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Your body has an amazing ability to heal itself if you give it the opportunity to do so. It doesn't mean it's going to grow cartilage, but what it does mean is that you can get more functional. And it doesn't just have to be a knee or hip. It can be your knuckle. It can be your elbow, your shoulder, your big toe joint. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on the feet.
Your bread and butter, the feet. We just met someone this past weekend that was like, it's my feet. I've tried all these shoes and these inserts and they make it worse. And you're like, I love feet. Come and see me. You don't need the inserts.
I don't love feet. I just specialize in feet.
You're great at feet.
Yeah, I don't have a foot fetish. I'm just really good at figuring out what's going on.
What's wrong with the foot.
Yeah.
So you don't need to spend all this money on insoles and podiatry surgeries. You just need to figure out where the problem is, and it's probably coming from higher up, not just the foot itself. So come figure it out.
Maybe stay in your lane.
Heal the foot.
Yeah, stay in your lane again.
Hey,
Maybe not from higher up.
I said maybe.
Maybe.
So maybe not. I didn't say it's definitely coming from higher up.
Touche. Fair enough.
You stay in your lane.
I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay. Yeah.
So check out STEMPod. Give me a text, call, email. Let me know if you want to check it out. This thing is insane. So don't miss out on this.
And stay accountable to someone else to help you heal.
I love it.
Ciao for now. Thank you for subscribing on your social media and podcast platforms to the Berman Method. Dr. Jake Berman with Berman Physical Therapy and Jenny Berman, Physician Assistant with Berman Health and Wellness. You can find more information on our website, www.bermanpt.com for physical therapy, bermanpt.com/wellness for the health and wellness. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on your podcast platform. So be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us. And if you would like any further information, definitely visit our website and reach out to us. You may also find our free reports on the websites as well, where you can download this free information for yourself. Have a great day.